31st word, second principle. On the ascension of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Now we consider the unbeliever who is listening. It comes to mind that he would think of saying, I do not recognize God and I do not know the Prophet Muhammad. How should I believe in the ascension? To which we would reply as follows. Since the universe and beings exist and within them are acts and creation, and since an orderly act cannot occur without an author, a meaningful book cannot be without a scribe, and a skillful embroidery cannot be without an embroiderer. The purposeful acts which fill the universe surely have an author, and the meaningful letters and amazing embroideries which cover the face of the earth and are renewed from season to season have a scribe and an embroiderer. And since two governors directing the same matter spoils the order in that matter being spoilt, and since from a fly's wing to the lamps in the heavens there is perfect order, there must be only one governor, one ruler. For the art and wisdom in everything is so wonderful, it necessitates that the maker of one thing is powerful over all things, to the extent that he knows every matter. Since this is so, if he was not one, there would have to be gods to the number of beings. These would be both opposed to and similar to one another, and it would therefore be 100,000 times impossible for this wonderful order not to be broken. Furthermore, since as is self-evidently apparent, at a command the classes of beings are in motion in a fashion 1,000 times more well-ordered than an army. Each group from the stars, sun and moon and their motions, to the flowers of the almond, displaying the decorations and uniforms the pre-eternal, all-powerful one has conferred on it, and the motion he has determined 1,000 times more regularly and perfectly than an army. Since this is so, the universe has an absolute ruler behind the veil of the unseen to whose command its beings look and conform. And since according to the testimony of all the wise matters he carries out, and splendid works he displays, the ruler is an all-glorious sovereign. And since according to the bounties he demonstrates, he is a most compassionate sustainer, and according to the beautiful examples of his art which he exhibits, he is a maker who loves his art. And since he is an all-wise creator who wishes to attract to his works of art the admiring gazes of conscious beings through the adornments and skills he demonstrates. And since it may be understood that he wishes to make known to conscious beings the meaning of the adornments, which astound the mind, that he displays in the creation of the world, and to inform them through the wisdom of his dominicality about where creatures come from and where they are going, most certainly this all-wise ruler and all-knowing maker wishes to demonstrate his dominicality. And since he wishes to make himself known and loved by conscious creatures through the great many works of benevolence and mercy and wonders of art he displays, he will surely make known to them by means of a herald what he desires of them and what those things are that please him and concern them. Since this is so, he will appoint one of the conscious beings and will proclaim his dominicality through him. He will honor a herald with the proximity of his presence and make him the means of exhibiting the art which he loves. He will appoint one of them as a teacher in order to inform other conscious beings of those exalted aims and to display his perfections. He will certainly appoint a guide so that the talisman contained in the universe and the riddle of dominicality he has concealed within beings will not remain meaningless. And he will appoint a guide who will teach the purposes contained in the beauties of art he displays and publishes as a spectacle for all to gaze on, so that they do not remain useless and vain. Moreover, in order to announce the things that please him to conscious beings, he will raise one of them to a rank above the others and will inform him of those things and send him to them. Since reality and wisdom require it to be thus, and the one most worthy to perform this duty was the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, for he actually performed those duties most perfectly, to which fact the world of Islam which he founded and the light of Islam which he showed are truthful and just witnesses. This necessitates that he should have risen above all the rest of the universe, surpassed all beings, and attained to a rank at which he held a universal, elevated, and all-embracing conversation with the Creator of all beings. Thus, the Ascension expresses this truth as well. In short, since he has formed, arranged, and adorned the vast universe in this way for mighty purposes and sublime aims such as those mentioned above, and since among beings mankind exists to see this universal dominicality, together with all its subtleties, and this supreme divine sovereignty, together with all its truths, most certainly, that absolute ruler will speak with man. He will inform him of his purposes. Since everyone cannot free themselves from particular, insignificant and lowly matters and rise to the highest and universal position, and therefore cannot themselves receive the ruler's universal address, certain special individuals from among human beings will be appointed to that duty so that it may be related to in two respects. First, in order to teach human beings, they must be human beings themselves. And in order to be able to receive the address directly, they must be extremely exalted spiritually. Thus, since among those human beings the one who made known the purposes of the universe's maker most perfectly, disclosed the talisman of the universe and solved the riddle of creation, and who heralded the sublimity of the sovereignty of dominicality in the best way, was Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Certainly, of all human beings he would make a spiritual journey in the form of an ascension touring the corporeal world. He would traverse all the levels to beyond the intermediate world of the divine names, the manifestation of the divine attributes and acts, and the levels of beings, all of which are known as the 70,000 veils. And the ascension was this. Again, the following comes to mind. Oh, listener, you are thinking of asking, how should I believe it? What does it mean to traverse a distance of thousands of years to a sustainer who is closer than anything else, and to meet with him after passing through 70,000 veils? To which we reply as follows. God Almighty is closer to everything than anything else, but everything is infinitely distant from him. For example, if the sun possessed consciousness and the power of speech, it would be able to converse with you by means of a mirror held in your hand. It would have power of disposal over you as it wished. Indeed, although it would be closer to you than the pupil of your eye, which is like a mirror, you would be approximately 4,000 years distance from it and could in no way draw closer to it. If you progressed and rose to the position of the moon and came to the point of being face to face with it, you would still only be able to be a sort of mirror to it. Similarly, although the all-glorious one, who is the Son of pre-eternity and post-eternity, is closer to everything than anything else, everything is infinitely distant from him. Only one who traverses all beings, rises above particularity, and gradually passes through the thousands of veils in the degrees of universality, till he approaches a divine name which encompasses all beings, and then traverses the many degrees beyond it, may be honored by a sort of divine proximity. For example, a private is far inferior in rank to the commander-in-chief. He looks to his commander through the small sample of his commander's rank. He sees in his corporal, at a great distance, and beyond many veils, as it were. To gain true proximity to his rank through his corporate personality, the private has to pass through many universal degrees or ranks, like that of lieutenant, captain, and major, whereas the commander-in-chief can be present with the private and seeing in person as well as in meaning through his commands, regulations, view, decree, and knowledge. Since this truth has been proved decisively in the 16th word, we deem that sufficient and cut short the discussion here.